Good morning, friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to review with you a problem I'm having with my Schlumbergera lutea subspecies bradii. Gosh, that's a mouthful for such a little plant, but it's been dropping clades. I noticed this starting about a week ago, and I had to go away on a trip out of town, so I wasn't able to really address the issue until today, so here we're going to look at it together. Now this plant has been growing in this tiny pot, growing in sphagnum moss very happily for about 5 years now, and I've never had an issue like this before. So I'm wondering if it's possible I might have altered my watering pattern. See, there's more little clades that have dropped there. I'm wondering if maybe I began to water too much. I usually would let this sphagnum moss dry out and water it maybe twice a week. But this is winter time, so possibly the sphagnum is holding on to more water. Another possibility is it's up in a window that's a west-facing window. It could be the changing rays of the sun hitting that far side of the plant. It could be cold coming in through the window. I just don't really know for sure, so I'm going to have to change and see what's going on. First thing I'm going to do is really check out the root ball. Like I said, I've had this growing in sphagnum moss. The root ball is pretty solid. It does look very moist. Yeah, the sphagnum moss is very soggy. Of course, I did just water it yesterday. I guess I shouldn't have done that. You can see the little clades here that are still dropping while I'm handling the plant. For the most part, everything's holding together pretty well. So I just don't know what my issue is. If you're a person who's experienced it growing this particular species, please drop me a note in the comments and let me know your thoughts. So the sphagnum looks pretty good. It's kind of dark towards the top, so I don't know if this is because it's been in this for 5 years and it's now having an issue. The bottom looks pretty nice. I don't see rotten roots. I don't see a lot of roots. So I think what I'm going to have to do is try to let this dry out and maybe try to repot the clades that have dropped, have a couple of backup plants, and let's take it from there. We'll have a follow-up video in a month or a few months from now, and we'll see how my plan is going to be working. But it looks pretty decent. I mean, it looks pretty healthy. It's got new growth. So I don't know if it's just a spot problem. We replaced it in our place of honor there. You can see the little new growth from the end of the clades. So let's take these older dropping clades and we'll try to start a couple of backup plants. I already started a plant about a week ago. Like I said, I noticed it dropping clades about a week ago. Here it is in my prop box. So we're going to make another backup plant. I have it, instead of sphagnum moss, this time I'm putting it in my mix, which is about 2/3 perlite and about 1/3 peat moss. And it's got a tiny bit of vermiculite in there, which shouldn't hurt too much because of the 2/3 part perlite. Here it is. I've got a small pot filled. It's moistened. And we're going to take the clades that we retrieved today and get those potted up. The plant that I've had in there for about a week, the clades look pretty good, but they haven't rooted yet. And it may take a while. So we'll just make some little holes here and try to get these little clades nestled into a new home, and hopefully they'll send out roots and start a new plant. I'm just using my scissors, which is probably not the best idea. You could use a toothpick or a bamboo skewer. And we'll just get these nestled right in here. I'm not planting them too deeply. These are the larger ones. And I kind of arrange these so that they'll grow over the edge rather than back in toward the center of the pot. That's really a big one. And if the big stem segment there ends up dropping some smaller clades, I'll probably just repot those into the same pot too. The more the merrier. And if I see any of these little clades that look like they're not going to make it and they're rotting, I'm going to remove them as soon as I see it so that we don't have rot going on in our new pot here. Well, they're sometimes a little hard to place. I would use tweezers, but I'm afraid I would damage the stem with the tweezers. So I'll just go with my fingers. Here you see the finished product. We've got all the little clades stuck into the mix here. I've got it in a little saucer type arrangement, and I'm going to put the two Schlumbergera plants here together. These are the ones that I did not plant because they look like they might have a tendency to be too far gone or rotting. I only wanted to plant the most healthy looking segments in here to give it all a better chance to make a nice plant. Okay, so we'll get that plant together with the other one that we started about a week ago. And I'm going to leave these in my prop box. There's going to be plenty of humidity in here. I won't have to water them again probably, but I'm going to check on them every day. And there they are. Right into the prop box with, gee, I have mostly African violets in here now. And we'll let these have a nice humid home. The humidity will support the clades while they don't have roots. That was another thing I was trying to do when I had this plant up on the window ledge and I noticed it dropping clades. I thought, well, maybe it's a humidity issue because it is wintertime and it's very dry in my house with the heater going. So I was spritzing it and misting it, thinking that would help, and that seemed to help for a few days. So what I decided to do was to change the spot. I'm moving this plant to my south-facing room, which is warmer. It's got a little gentle light coming in. I'm going to let this just dry out, let this moss really get nice and dry, and we'll take it from there and see how it does. We'll make a follow-up video in probably a month or so and see how it's going. In the meantime, if you're familiar with this plant and you know how to grow it, please drop me a line in the comments below and give me a helping hand. If you found this video interesting, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, drop me a comment down below, and we will talk to you all again in the next video.